Okay, we ready? We ready? Good evening. Today is Tuesday, September 15th. It's 6:02, and we're going to have a work session. We'll stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Meeting started. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'd like to have a moment of silence to honor our military, firefighters, sheriff's deputies, and road workers as they serve our community here and abroad. Thank you. Tracy, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee McLaughlin.
Present.
Trustee McGuire.
Present.
Trustee, man.
Present.
Okay, so under old business, first thing we have is a Brewer Blacktop invoice payment and purchase order.
Has the check been cut?
Have you signed the PO? Mr. Mann,
Yes.
you provided me the data just yesterday for the PO. The PO has not been signed yet, so the check cannot be cut to the PO side. Is that answer your question, Mr. McGuire?
Marty from Brewer Blacktop, the owner, is supposed to be at the meeting at 7.
Well, I just told
And
you.
I don't understand why you took it upon yourself to change the agenda with Adrian. You don't have the authority to do so,
And the agenda's not changed.
so
I just added what we're discussing, because she said there was nothing on the agenda, so I gave her my input.
So have we gotten the line codes worked out with Brewer?
I don't know. Mr. Mann, would you please address this issue with him?
There was, I gave her a list of, that I got from Steve for board. And one of those items were, there wasn't enough money in that particular line item. Is that correct, Tracy?
No.
Or is it good?
All that you gave, you called me on the phone, and I gave you the amounts that was in the line. So I prepared the purchase order, and it now sits in the mailbox. I think Mr. McLaughlin's already signed it. No, nobody signed it. I'm sorry, I take that back. Nobody signed it. It sits in the mailbox, waiting for signature, along with a bunch of other checks, POs and checks that are sitting there waiting for signature.
I'm surprised you didn't bring it to the meeting.
I'm surprised you don't go up there and look in the box.
You go up there every time you would send me a text and ask me to sign checks, so that's never been a problem.
Yeah, but
So-
you're up and you've been up in that office and not looked in the mailbox and there's been checks before. So you need to check the box every time you go up there.
Okay, you know that one then?
I think we're about 60 days past due with the,
As long as you guys hold it up and don't sign it, you could be 180 days. At the rate you're going, it may be that. And if somebody had told me that Brewer was gonna be here to pick up a check, it quite possibly could have been done, but most likely not, since I just got the line code yesterday.
Okay, next one, ready? OPWC issue 2.
McGuire, do you have something to speak on that? Because I gather you put that on the agenda as well.
Actually, Miss Edwards, your signature is holding up a $400,000 blessing.
So
to
how do you
folks in
know?
the
How
room.
do you think it's 400,000?
Well, with all the other grant money that's going with that. So I guess, and I know you're against everything in the road department, so I guess we're gonna give away that money when this is the first break we've ever caught.
You do a lot of
You're in favor
guessing.
of it.
How's
You
it-
do a lot of
how's it-
guessing,
how is
but
it
you don't have any
$400,000?
facts
It's not
behind any
$400,000.
of that, do you? You do a lot of guessing, but you have no facts.
So.
Did you not receive the email from the township attorney?
The only thing I'm concerned with is the signature at this point that you've been
Did you
holding
not
off. You
receive
probably
the email
lost
from the
money.
township attorney?
Well, have you signed it or not?
Did you not receive the email from the township attorney? That's a question I asked you.
I have not, so have you
Well,
signed it?
then you need to
or not?
read your email. I will not address anything until you get up and you stop assuming.
Have you signed it or not?
I'm not answering any more questions. You stop assuming and find out the answers for yourself. That's why we have email. Because you won't call, nobody calls me for anything. You just make assumptions and wait till the meeting, and then you start making assumptions.
Mr. McLaughlin, do you know if the paperwork was signed?
Do not know. I saw an email though. I did read an email. I have a problem with the fact that we're doing, why are we going to tear up road? The first one is Brewer laptop for $128,000 for work that was handed in an unprofessional manner. It was, that money was not done in the correct manner, given to Brewer Blacktop. And then the second issue, this issue 2 money, you're gonna take the money we spend in the first one, and the second one, you're gonna tear the road, you're gonna redo the pavement we just did. I don't know anybody that wants to pay for something and then have it tore out and be done.
Well, without an engineering study, you can't be sure on that statement.
I can't, because I've been in construction for years, and when they sign a contract to go from point A to point B, they're gonna tear everything out and do all that. They're not gonna work around what somebody else did. They're gonna go from one point to the other point and do it all, and for our benefit of 200,000, not 400,000, as you're stating. But our benefit on that's about 200,000. For money we've already spent 128,000, 130,000 on.
So you're against it?
That's you imply,
That's
that's
the question.
your
Are you for it or
attitude.
against it?
That's your attitude and your opinion, so.
What, are you for it or against it,
I-
Mr. President?
This is a work session.
Yeah, do this, can't make decisions. So, anything more to talk about on issue 2? Okay, so the next one is budget discussion.
Okay. I don't know what your intentions were to have this meeting, but as Mr. Wolf has stated, he wanted just to have it with me, him, and Mr. Mann, Trustee Mann. But I did not feel that we were progressing anywhere with just us 3, so and you guys can leave if you want, but I need everybody to be in when we have these discussions. I passed out an updated, appropriation status sheet as of today, it says. I didn't do any bills today, but this is as of today. So I did a bunch of them over the weekend. So this is the updated one. And so I gave you a fund status that was updated. I also gave you a sheet that Mr. Mann, previous fire chief, Mr. Wolf and I agreed to do the breakout of all the bills. And well, the majority of the bills. Some are like, I think it's all of them, but some of them are like left up to, depending on what the work been done, what department. Did I explain that right, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's dependent on which department, how much of a bill is for what department. Then Mr. Wolf gives a percentage, and then the issue I have with that, it's okay to give the percentage, but I need, like, for instance, he has all the departments except for the fire department, and they've written POs and everything. So I just need that to be coordinated instead of him sending it to me, and then I send it to the fire department. I need it to be sent to the fire department so they can send me, either send it back to him to coordinate it, or send it to me, so I don't have to do that extra work to try to get it all coordinated. Just to make sure that bill is covered, because say they come back and say, oh, we don't have that, or he comes back and has an amount, and there's not money in that fund, then I have to resend all the bill out for a second time. So it takes additional work. So I gave you that so you know what the splits are for, and that's that one sheet that says splits on it. Okay? The appropriation, of course, you know what they use appropriation. That lets you guys know where you're at. Again, this is not static. It changes every day. I can't keep impressing to you guys how critical it is for you guys to get on UAN if you want to know an up-to-date status. If you can't get on UAN, somebody call me. I can't buy it over the phone. If you think I buy it, I can't buy it over the phone. You know, so call me and tell me you can't get in there. Don't just assume I know you can't get in there. You know, we got to work together. Okay, and that's the purpose of us having this meeting. We got to work together and solve these issues. I have a, right now we have a critical issue. Medicare, there's only $400 left in the road fund. This is now the 18th pay period. Payroll, we have 26 payrolls. We only have 400 left in the road in Medicare. OPERS has no funds left in the road. This is because I'm sure we gave salary for the new road department people, but we didn't adjust the OPERS and Medicare. And that was probably just an oversight, but it needs to be taken care of. So that's a critical issue, because I can't pay OPERS right now for this past, it's actually for August, for that August pay 18. Pay 19 just got it today, so when we do September's, I'm not going to have any funds for September, so we need to solve this issue as soon as possible. Do we want to do that now, or do we just want to? Wait? What do we need to do it? I guess all I can ask you. We need to do it.
Has anybody got the balances? We can put them up and.
Balances of what?
For the accounts. I'd like to see them live in a meeting for once.
I just handed you the appropriation form.
You know, one of the things that Tracy just said was it's constantly changing and we need to be in UAN. Yet, Mr. Wolf is still not in UAN.
But did
And
Mr.
how
Wolf
do you
tell me?
put time
Did
into
Mr.
helping-
Wolf tell me? When?
And you reset my password and
Okay.
it doesn't work.
Because you don't know how to use it, right?
I know how to use it.
Okay, then there's only one password I can reset. And that's it's for everybody. When I reset it, it automatically puts to lowercase UAN. And I gave you all of that in the very beginning. So when you call me and say reset it, that's your password. If you change it, I don't have anything to do with it. I can't do that. I don't change it. I just
So
reset it.
to work with you, when are you available to work with me on my computer? And come in there and work with me when you have time.
What do you want me to do?
Want you to sit there with me and call UAN if you can't get it to work. So
No, I don't need to call UAN because UAN can't help us. I told you, I set the password.
UAN said if the fiscal officer's on the phone with us on a conference call today, they told me today they could help us get whoever set up correctly. I'm just asking for cooperation.
As I said, All I have to do is set up UAN, reset your password. If that's your problem, then tell me that's your problem. If you don't know how to use it, then tell me you don't know how to use it.
I'm just repeating what UAN.
And I'm asking you a question. Do you not know how to use it or
UAN
not?
runs the software. I went to the UAN office today and they said if the
Okay.
desk officer would sit with you for 5 minutes, we can get the problem resolved.
I
That's all
don't
they said.
understand
And I'm
that,
asking-
so I'll call
And I'm gonna
UAN
do
for
that for
myself.
all of you guys, if you like.
The trustees.
I'm not here to train you guys.
If we pass,
You go and take the training and learn
if
how
we
to.
passed a resolution turning over the administration of UAN to Buckeye like we do everything else.
You can't
in
do
IT,
that. They're not
I
allowed
bet
to do that.
Wolf would be in the system.
You
in
cannot do that.
15 minutes.
They would not, UAN would not allow you to do that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's for the fiscal officer only. And we are not paying Buckeye any more money unnecessarily.
That's not your decision.
Well, I'm just telling you that makes no sense to
We're
pay them
acting like a trustee.
$125 an hour.
That's
No.
not your decision.
The
Your job is to
120
pay
but
the
it's the citizens' money that you're wasting because you won't take training.
Tracy, do you have a professional tone anywhere in your body?
Do you have a professional look anywhere in your life? You don't even have a job, Tommy.
Trustees, if Mr. Wolf is unable to gain access to the system by the next meeting, I'm going to come into this meeting with a resolution asking for a court order.
You're wasting money. Court order's not gonna do anything. So you're threatening the trustees right now. Is that what you just did? But you're
No,
not threatening me.
I'm telling you.
You're
what
not
I'm gonna
threatening
do.
me.
I'm telling you what I'm going to do.
It's not gonna happen. Nothing happened. You
You're not-
already got several
you're not
times you've gone to a
cooperating.
lawyer and they told you can't do nothing.
You're not
So all it
cooperating.
is threats.
No.
Idle threats. Idle threats. You're trying to intimidate people because you want to have it your way.
Well, you're discriminating against Wolf because you
I am
won't
not
give him a
discriminating
credit
against
card and you
Wolf.
won't
Wolf
give him
doesn't
access
know
to
how to
money.
do his job. If he doesn't know how to use UAN, admit he doesn't know how to use it. None of you have used UAN. I can go in there and see that since I gave you the access to it. Mr. McLaughlin can't use it because Mr. Wolf he was been told that Mr. Wolf's in charge of UAN access.
It's true.
So who is doing what to who? And don't say it's not
So as much
true,
as you
because
talk
I
about-
saw the email.
As much as you talk about an email about balances, yeah. You're keeping everybody in the blind.
Wait a minute, you know what? This is not to discuss what you want to discuss. This is about the budget.
Well, without balances, it's tough to do a budget.
No, it's not. I mean,
So-
this is you guys' budget. You guys approved it. You can't read a piece of paper, that's your problem.
Tracy, I can't even get a $200 check for reimbursement out of you, so.
What is $200? You haven't given me anything for $200.
Oh, really?
What have you given me for $200?
187.65.
That's not $200.
Oh, okay.
And
Excuse me.
your PO hadn't been signed yet until
It's been
today.
sitting there, well, Wolf.
Well, it just got signed
Well,
today.
Wolf's- Okay, you've got,
If you would go up in the mailbox and sign the check, Mr. Wolf would have his check as well.
okay, you've got, me,
I got
Wolf, Humphreys, you owe money to, are those in the checks?
Yes, except yours, because first of all, you don't have the right fund
Well, I
codes
did
on
see
yours.
I did see a PO for a partial payment. so
Wait a minute, you
maybe
didn't put the
some
right
things
fund
that-
codes on there. Some of those fund codes you put on there don't even exist. And I told you that
And
already.
you were
I
willing
sent
to
you
help
an
me
email.
resolve
You can't
this.
read the piece of paper I hand you?
You were not willing to.
See, you're
help me.
incompetent of doing your job.
Okay, yeah. So, you don't want to help anybody.
What's the use of me
Nothing's
doing
your
these pieces
job.
of paper if you can't read it? Should I stop printing paper and giving it to you? I gave you guys, you asked for access to UAN. I gave you access to UAN. I provide you a report every month. I told you that report is not static, it moves, so you gotta get in UAN. But yet you're still trying to make me do your job. If you want me to reimburse, you need to find the funds and put it on there correctly. That is not my job.
And then how many rounds of emails we go through say, well, you're wrong, there's money
I
out there.
didn't
because
send you but
posted
one,
money."
and you didn't answer, you didn't do it back, but I have every single email you sent me about how you want to degrade me on everything. Would you like me to read that?
Sure.
Okay. Let me get them out. Let me get them out. In fact, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to do that. If this what you wanna do, I'll do it. But, I mean, is this what the rest of the trustees wanna hear?
No.
Okay. What do you wanna do, Mr. McLaughlin, Mr.
I
Mayor?
will need to figure out how we're gonna take care of the low funds in paying the road employees, the OPERS and the Medicare. You said, when you say Medicare only got 400 and OPERS has 0
That's in the road department.
in the road department, we need to figure out how we're gonna take care of that. That has to be corrected. We have 6 guys besides Steve Wolf in the road department now. Last year we had 3, and, you know, it hasn't been corrected. You know, we're averaging $1,000 more per week in labor expense in the road department than we did last year. And actually, in my opinion, you're doing less because we're farming all the extra work out, having nobody fix everything for us, not doing no repairs in-house, and we're spending on the average $1,000 more per week in labor.
OPERS is 14% of the salary, and
Um,
Medicare is 12.5. So,
Which code are you under, Tracy? I'm sorry.
I'm not looking at code, but,
Okay.
I mean, but that's, okay, so it's 2031-330-213 is Medicare,
Okay, I see it.
and then
You have 411 left. Okay, yep.
I have a suggestion that might help us.
Yes.
For Tracy, I'd like to know if you were to take $15,000 out of the salary account for roads at 2031-330-190-0601, and you were to reallocate $15,000 as follows. $10,000 to the fund of 2031-330-2111-000, and the remaining $5,000 to fund code 2031-330- I think it's 2113-000.
213.
Yeah, I wrote it.
And
That's
this
part
is-
of this.
If you did that, is there enough funds to do so, and will this solve our problem?
I did not calculate how much you actually needed because I wasn't sure of the salaries, how the salaries were they constant or not. You understand what I'm saying?
So you gave me those records, and I looked at the consistency of it, and so that should get us through, even all the way through January, February of next year.
So 2031, 211, and 213, 211.
If that works.
213. I mean,
Because
if
I
that's
know
what you
when I-
want, if that's what they want to do, you know, I
Well,
can
it's
go
just a
now.
suggestion.
Yeah.
Because
And
we're-
if that, and they're getting it from you because you manage that fund.
Right.
So,
We're not gonna spend the full $80,000
Okay.
between now and February of next year on salary,
so
so
I think that's what they need to hear.
that's my suggestion to solve this one issue.
So is that what we have in there? Because road staff, we have 79, 273. So 79, is that 79 or 76?
76,
Okay.
73.
And you won't spend that much, right?
No, just 50, I won't spend that much, even with 15 taken out of it.
Okay,
But I'm counting on, like we always do, to include January, February.
okay.
Even though I know we don't roll things over, we reallocate for next year, it's still, I want to make sure that money's held.
No
Okay,
problem.
so going into January, February, that's 10 pay periods. And
January, February, March, it'll be 11.
I just did the 1st of February, that's 10 pay periods, and that will be around 54,000. And you got 76 in there, so it leaves like 20,000.
So we should be okay then,
Yep.
as long as nobody gets arrested. That solves the issue of Medicare and Oprah's in the road. I did not look as far as the general fund, but I'm assuming we got that, nothing changed.
No, we based that and we haven't had any changes in the general.
Right.
There was one other point for everybody to look at is we put 2,000 in the Social Security account for the roads, which is 2031330212000. There's 2,000 there because we never spent anything. So if we have an emergency, we're down to a couple thousand, we have that as the extra to possibly move over, because no one works on getting the Social Security here, they get PRS. So that's just for you guys to
That's
circle.
a backup.
And I thank you, Tracy, for giving me those spreadsheets.
That was the emergency issue in my mind. I think that was important.
That was the most important.
Okay,
So you can continue to do your job.
okay, so that solved that issue. Go ahead.
Do you need something in writing that says that, or are you okay?
Okay, as long as they're aware, and when I do the,
Reallocation.
I'll have to do a resolution for them to approve it, but that's okay, I can take care of that.
Okay.
Because that's changing, moving money from one line item to another. And we have to do that internally because I have to keep records in UAM of that. So, again, I'll just repeat what I'm gonna have, and you'll get the resolution next meeting, but I'll go ahead and do it, just so I got it. We're taking, money from the road fund, the road staff salary. We're gonna take a total of, I lost my page, give me a second. We're gonna take a total of $15,000 from 2031-330-190-050. What says 05? Did you say 0601?
Yes, 0601. With my magnifying glass. It says 0601.
I'm looking at the wrong, oh yeah, okay, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry, I put the wrong one. 0501 is payroll, correct? Okay, 0601, and then we're gonna put 10,000 of that into 2031330-211-0000. And then 5,000 into 213-0000 with the same beginning, 2031330-213-0000. That should cover that. Again, like I said, I wasn't sure, but he answered that question about the salaries, but he said he wasn't going to spend that 76, so we're okay. That was the only other question I had. Okay. Oh, so I was starting to say, there's still a few invoices out, but I think I just sent them out in the last 5 days.
You did.
Okay, so, there's still something to pay, but before we had this meeting, there were quite a few. But the biggest issue on the invoice, there are some that are behind. And one of the big ones is air gas. And Mr. Wolf's aware of this one because he's sending already to the lawyer, but I'm not sure which lawyer you sent it to. But they're supposed to be doing it.
Mr. Peterson.
Okay, but we've
I know you've got a stack of paperwork, I've got a book that's we're building too.
So I will tell you right now that what I sent you in that data I sent you the other day, the fire department has finished. They got their tanks turned in. I'm hoping today I will verify that because they were supposed to come.
This morning they weren't. It was, but they've identified where the bottles were.
Yes.
Originally, what I was told by a former employee is that the bottles were already picked up and they're not here. So we were scared that we had to pay for those bottles. They have discovered them with the new staff, or the current staff that's here now. So the way I understand what they told you is that they're gonna be returning the bottles for the credit that we've been paying for years on, that we shouldn't have had to pay because they weren't using most of those bottles. They were at Station 59, so that's a positive. And then the road department will be the only one with an air gas account because they use that company for welding. So we have 3 tanks at the road garage that will continue, but the fire will no longer finally not be.
So we'll still continue to pay the.
Yes, but it
And
has
you
to
know-
be road.
And you know you have a contract till 2024.
Yeah, I don't know who signed it. We can't
No, I
find
don't
the
either, because you
contract.
got it, where you have to call the
Right.
local office. That's what they told me. I've already investigated all this.
So-
There was 16 tanks turned into, but it wasn't those last three. And they were charging us on the fire department for 2 tanks, and they gave us credit for that, and we got all that straightened out. So I spent like a whole day trying to get that straightened out. But I didn't know the answer you just gave me. The lady's gonna call me tomorrow.
Greg said that this morning in the meeting we had with Chief Ryan.
So we got the road, we got the fire done. Got it done, and so the only thing we're gonna pay is back to 2019 on those road maintenance tanks. So
Trustees,
that-
what else, sorry, I want to
Okay.
say one point. We've got to be careful with our departments, that they don't jump off of a contract and go to a new one because they save themselves money until they know that they cleaned up the existing contract. This is strictly a mistake by management where they didn't get off of the account properly. The fire department went to a new gas company and left the mess behind. We're going to fix it, solve it, move on down the road. But every time we change like that, you can't just leave the account as a split account between departments until you know you've cleaned it up. So I thank goodness for Tracy, myself, Greg, and the others that have worked on this, because this just continued to climb, and it should never have been this way.
So tomorrow, the lady from the collection agency will be calling me, and I will report about the,
And I have-
who will be paying it, and you'll provide me,
I have a fund code for you.
oh, now, or?
I'll give it to you now.
Okay, let me, find it.
Because the report you gave me showed 243.43,
That's what I come up with the balance.
and
If she tells me a different number tomorrow, I'll let you know.
that's fine. I have enough money in
You
this
said,
account to pay it.
wait, I sent you a spreadsheet, is that the amount that was on that spreadsheet?
Yeah,
Let me just find my spreadsheet so I can write it down, the fund code on there. So, okay, I'm ready.
it's 2031 330 490 0000. And the total on your spreadsheet said 243.43, but you got a question mark next to the August 31st.
Because I didn't have that bill at the time I wrote it.
And
Which
then,
is-
returning those bottles with the fire may give us a credit. I don't
Right.
know.
Oh, no, because I got that exact amount from the lady who do. But this 8/31 won't come until the end of this month, or soon, this 8/31 is really the one for September, I think.
So, yeah,